Hello and Happy New Year, Sagittarius. Welcome to your January 2025 tarot card reading. And really quick, if you are interested in booking a session with me, I do have slots available in January, so I'll put the info on how to do that down below in the description box in the comment thread. So let's go ahead and see what comes through here for you, Sagittarius. What is it that you need to know for January 2025? Okay, starting with awakening. Okay, beautiful. I mean, it feels like things are kind of changing, they're blossoming, they're blooming. There's a kind of potentially a feeling of possibility in the air for many of you. I also feel that there's a lot of personal change going on for Sagittarius, especially with Saturn being in the fourth house there. Now, one of the things that you do need to be aware of, I mean, I'm telling this to everybody, is the fact that the nodes are now switching signs in January. So the North Node will be moving into Pisces, the South Node will be moving into Virgo. And I think that South Node in Virgo is going to really make you think a lot about your life path. It's going to make you think about what you're contributing to humanity, the value that you're bringing out into the world. And there might be some revisions into how you're doing that. So it seems like things are kind of illuminating for you at this time. Now, you might be seeing little signs, getting little feelings, little intuitive pings. And I think it's important to pay attention to those things. You don't necessarily have to act on everything right away. We know that that process of awakening can sometimes take a while. But I feel like there are going to be things that surface throughout January that will become relevant later. So we have a personal issue reaches resolution, which really speaks to closure, which is great for the beginning of a new year, right? We can say goodbye to any kind of drama or any kind of tension or any kind of problematic circumstance, and we can kind of move on. I feel peace, I feel serenity with this card. So chances are you're moving forward in kind of a beautiful way right now. It feels soft, it feels, I don't know, it feels kind of almost ethereal with that Persephone card here. It feels kind of ethereal. So I don't know, you kind of have a little bit of a magic about you right now, it seems, Sagittarius. But let's see what else comes out. What else does Sagittarius need to know? You know, this Three of Cups has been coming out quite a bit this month in these general readings. And I'm wondering if there isn't some kind of a social component that's really important for us. Now, on one hand, I like the Three of Cups in terms of emotional support, friendship groups, being connected professionally with the right people. Often this card is celebratory, it's festive, it's fun, it's entertaining. So maybe there's an opportunity for you to go out and do those types of things. But I'm also kind of seeing a fade out where we're kind of fading away from the Three of Cups and moving toward the Three of Wands. This is also kind of giving a more ethereal quality, where this is really in the world and really engaged with people, really engaged with what's going on. This one has kind of a looking toward the future, waiting for prosperity and abundance to come to you, but also a sense of adventure and excitement for what comes next. So it feels like there is one kind of phase or a group of friends or some kind of aspect of your life that you're kind of drifting away from. And maybe you're realizing like these people are great, they're wonderful, but also maybe it's a distraction from my goals. Maybe I shouldn't be spending so much time and energy there, and maybe I really need to redirect my focus towards something that matters a little bit more to me. And maybe that's a part of the awakening too, is just seeing people differently. Not in a bad way, not that they're bad people, nothing like that. It's just it's just what happens when we change. It's what happens when change is around us. And I think we've had so much change lately, and it's going to be very difficult this year. I mean, really, really difficult to hang on to anything from our past. I mean, really a lot of stuff, okay? Because when the North Node comes into Pisces, it's immediately going to come to this conjunction with Neptune. And then there's a lot of Saturn involvement this year as well in that whole like North Node Neptune thing. And it just feels like our old life is very slippery. And the more and more we try to hang on to it, the more it slips out of our fingers and we just realize it's not for us anymore. And I look at this Hierophant and I see kind of a truth emerging for you, Sagittarius, an authenticity. I'm not saying you're not an authentic person already. It's just that this is new. It's a new layer of you. And it's really stemming from kind of your future self pulling you forward. And to me, the Hierophant, there's no questions when he comes out. There are no questions about where we want to go and what we should be doing. There's no questions about what is a waste of time and what isn't. It's really clear cut. And I think this is the time for Sagittarius to have exceptionally firm boundaries and to dedicate as much as they can to their own goals. I'm not necessarily seeing you being the most accessible person with that Hierophant card. I just look at that Three of Wands and I say that you have such a bigger picture in mind. For some reason, this Three of Wands, and I'm not trying to belittle these relationships, but they're not included in the big picture for some reason. They're either not the right people to help get you there, or it's not the right vibe or something. It's just not, there's something that doesn't connect. And that's why I'm feeling that fade away from the Three of Cups. To me, this feels more peaceful, more serene. It feels more solid and secure. And I think there's a lot of self-reliance here. I mean, typically I would say Sagittarians, stereotypically maybe, are a little bit more self-reliant and, can do the independent thing quite well. But there's a difference between doing that in like survival mode and as a coping mechanism versus doing that because you know that you're the only one that's going to have the drive and the ambition to carry it over the finish line. Because I just don't know that these people are going to be there on that journey with you. I don't know that they can. Okay, this feels like a journey that is only for you. And it seems like it's really beginning now. See what else comes out for you, Sagittarius. You might look around and to some degree, not every degree, but to some degree kind of say, I'm just not who I used to be anymore. You're noticing your own personal changes. You're noticing how your own personality, your own preferences are changing. The way you spend your time is changing. You're just noticing the change. And I look at this Two of Coins and I am seeing you doing a lot. I do think you have a lot on your plate. I think you have a lot of choices, I guess we could say. You have a lot of priorities. You're trying to figure out which priorities are more important. There's a lot of back and forth. But again, we're not trying to balance old world versus new world here. And maybe to some degree, we're trying to keep everything intact. We're trying to be who we used to be and trying to be who we're trying to become. And that balance isn't going to really work. We are going to have to make some sacrifices. And I think as the North Node comes into Pisces and conjuncts with Neptune, the theme of sacrifice, surrender, loss, faith, trust, all of those things are going to be extremely important. And we're going to have to be willing to just let go And I think that's part of the more etheric quality coming through with that awakening card. This is absolutely a time you must trust the process here, because it's not going to make sense in the very beginning, and it's certainly not going to make you feel all that comfortable. Now, you'll feel comfortable with yourself, but I think the changes that this authenticity is really bringing about in your life, those changes might make you a little uncomfortable, okay? The Two of Coins is... I feel like there's some kind of a tie or some kind of an obligation, or there's something that's keeping you attached where you would prefer to be detached. And maybe you're having a little bit of an inner battle there, trying to really decide or figure out, how do I actually detach for good or for real, right? A personal issue reaches resolution. I think Five of Wands, the probability of you creating ripples or a splash or a disturbance is pretty high. People don't typically like when we pull the rug out from under others, right? They don't typically like it when we make decisions for ourselves that impacts them. But I think right now, Sagittarius, you're going to have to be okay with that, creating ripples. I think it's important for your journey. It's important for what you have. You know, this isn't a case where we can all just like each other and all get along. We have to do what's best for us. And a Five of Wands can be competitive. There can sometimes be jealousy there. There can be a lot of opinions. There can be projection. And a lot of people don't always have control over those things simply because they don't have awareness of those things. So it's not anything to get worked up about or stressed about. It's just probably the natural effect of what happens when you start making real choices and prioritizing different things. People feel that. They feel you maybe pulling away, or they feel you not being available, you know, and they're going to feel some way about it. The good news is the Five of Wands is not usually all that permanent. It doesn't usually last all that long. It's not typically the most substantial card. We tend to get over it very quickly. It's more short term. Knight of Wands suggests, this is the Sagittarius card, of course, suggests your strength. And in a way, I'm kind of seeing a leadership quality here. What might actually be happening, even though there does seem to be kind of an unraveling going on, you seem to be the leader in this, especially with the Hierophant right above. You seem to be the one that makes it okay for others to change too. And I think that's something. That's something to not underestimate. Because when people see you doing your dreams or pulling away and dedicating to your financial growth, your romantic health, your physical health, whatever, when they see you pulling away and dedicating to your abundance, yeah, they may have a little something to feel about it, but it shows them, and I think it inspires them, like, hey, this is okay for me to do too, and might actually inspire them to do the same for themselves. So don't underestimate the power of your inspiration right now. You may not always think of yourself as an inspirational person, but I would say in this case, you definitely are. You are going to ruffle some feathers, but who cares? Because maybe there are some people out there who need their feathers ruffled. You know, this is not about comfort, and it shouldn't be. And keeping yourself comfortable or keeping everything just intact is just not good. We need things to fall apart right now. We just need that. We need that to fall apart. We have Pluto came into Aquarius last year already. We have Neptune coming into this conjunction with the North Node and eventually Saturn in a couple of months. So we're going to be building up to that throughout the entire first part of the year. And then eventually Uranus is also going to change signs too this year. So, I mean, this whole year, 2025, is just going to be layer after layer after layer of new terrain and new territory. And we shouldn't expect comfort, honestly. We shouldn't, and we shouldn't have last year either. I think it was all about getting uncomfortable. It was all about pushing our limits. But I think this is the year that we take big action on a lot of the things that we already got started last year. Okay, we start to actualize the intentions. All right, what else? What else, Sagittarius? All right. I love I guess we'll start with the Two of Swords since it came out first. So the Two of Swords is about pathways and choices. We tend to have come at a crossroads here. I see the same kind of thing going on with the Two of Coins too. The thing is that with the Two of Swords, it doesn't feel all that challenging. I don't know that this Two of Swords is like old life versus new life. I don't know that it's that extreme. I think these are two prongs that go to two different new life paths. I don't think there's anything pulling us back to the past right now, and we shouldn't. We definitely should not be going backwards. That's for sure. So if people like start popping up from your past, I just want you to like just don't. I would not even entertain even a little bit. All right. It's, unless there's some like really unique situation, but like if it's an ex, an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, or if it's like an old friend that betrayed you once, like 10 years ago, and they're trying to this is definitely not the time for that kind of thing. I mean, you can certainly forgive and all of that, but I certainly wouldn't want to try to resurrect. Okay. And I kind of said that a lot when Pluto dipped back into Capricorn through September, October, November of last year. And I think that stands. Okay. We're not trying to resurrect anything. So again, we're not trying to go back. You may have two paths in front of you that are quite different, but they're both going, I feel like I want to say all roads lead to Rome. It doesn't matter which path you take. This isn't a time, I don't think, to sit and contemplate. It's not a time to hem and haw and be wishy-washy and go back and forth. That's not very leadership quality anyways. We're seeing here with the Hierophant Knight of Wands. You may take time to intelligently deliberate, sure, but I don't want to see you hemming and hawing and going back and forth. I would rather see you say, well, I don't really have enough information, but I know that I'm going to have to pick something, and I know I'm going to have to make a choice, and I know I'm going to have to take action at some point. So let's do something, and then we can make adjustments later. I think that's a big part of the North Node Neptune conjunction, is we just do kind of have to throw our hands up and say, well, let's just see what happens. Let's have faith. Let's try it. Let's go for it. Let's trust this process. Because I don't know that we're going to have a lot of clarity this year, and even a little bit into 2026. I don't know that clarity in terms of exactly how something is coming to fruition, I don't know that we're going to have it. That's why having a personal plan can be very beneficial for you. And the more specific your ultimate dream, your vision board is, the better. But in terms of how, I think we need to just kind of throw our hands up and say, I think this is going to work, and just dive in and go for it. When I look at this King of Coins, he's also an intelligent deliberator, okay? But he understands the need for movement and progress. Because if there's no progress, there is no revenue, right? If there's no production, there's no revenue. If there's no action, there are no reactions. Okay, so he understands how important it is to do stuff. So he's not going to sit at that Two of Swords and just do a pity party and be like, well, I don't know, I'm not going to do anything yet. He would say, well, let's just do this, and we can correct course later on if we have to. Okay? King of Coins is abundant minded. He wants the abundance. He wants the prosperity. He wants the money. He wants the love. He wants the high quality lifestyle. He wants the beauty. And I think that's really what this is all about. And again, the Three of Cups is great. These relationships are wonderful, but they seem distracting. And the fade away from that, I think, is what needs to happen through January. The fade away, the redirection, the new focus, the hunkering down and getting things done. Because the King of Coins, as plush as he may look, also has no problems rolling up his sleeves and getting down and dirty in the dirt when he needs to. Okay, when he needs to get a job done, he will get the job done. No questions asked. And the very last card we get is a card of wishes coming true, which says, hey, Sagittarius, all this activity, all these changes that you're making are leading you straight to the very wishes that you've cast in the past. There seem to be some relational blockages that are, I don't want to say they're preventing, but they're definitely delaying these wishes. They're delaying it because for some reason they're either taking the time and energy away from it, or it's just the vibe isn't right. It's not putting you in the right vibe. This is a great vibe. We love the happiness. We love the laughter. We love the joy. Like, that's great. This feels more connected with the divine, though. And I think this is what's going to pull this in. This is why you have to kind of be the leader. I kind of see Sagittarius, quote unquote, getting serious. Now, I don't mean like your whole demeanor is going to change or anything, but you're getting serious about stuff. And that's what produces all of these results. So you're definitely on the right track as it is, but it's just important to put certain relationships in perspective, okay? All right, we're going to open up all these cards. We're going to pull out 3 cards per card, so another 27 cards. We're going to talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about all the new ones. So if you want to join me in the comprehensive reading, you are more than welcome. All the links and everything will be in the description box and the comment thread down below. So Sagittarius, what is it that you need to know about the 3 of Cups? Okay, we have the moon. See, the vibe is like it's like definitely an illusion there. Yeah, I knew it. I was like, that's what you're fading away from. We get the Death card. That's what needs to be put down. 3 of Wands. We've got the 5 of Swords. 2 of Wands. There's something going on this month, and it's not just you, but there's something about people just not getting it. Like, they don't get it. They don't understand. And so you're going to have to kind of be a lone wolf a little bit and do things regardless of whether or not people get it. You know, like, you don't need anyone's approval or anyone else's validation. You know, you're just going to have to be able to just go do it. Okay. Five of Wands, King of Wands. I love the King. I knew I saw leadership there. Sun, definitely leadership. Please do not underestimate your role here, okay? Don't underestimate the effect. Ruffling feathers is probably the greatest gift that you will give to people. A little bit of, I don't want to say, it's not like tough love. It's not like you're like, you're not punishing anybody or anything like that. It's just you're forcing them to deal with change, you know? And last but not least, another 2 of Coins. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Magician and the Queen of Swords. All right. All right, Sagittarius, this is where we will pick up. So if you want to join, again, all the info is down below. Thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing January, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.